Hey guys, welcome to Joe Knows. Great to see you. What a beautiful day. Wow. I don't know when you're going to be watching this. It might be evening, but I'll tell you, we've had a great summer, haven't we, in Texas? Been mild and just really awesome. Well, we are going to wrap up our series going against the grain, and we're talking about paradoxes in the Bible, spiritual paradoxes, things that seem to not make sense, but they really do. And I saved the best for last. What I want to talk to you about is grace. See, one of the greatest paradoxes that I know of is grace, the grace of God that we receive when we come to know Christ. So we live in America. America is a place of self-made men and women. We want to accomplish things, and we do things, and it's kind of the where we get the term self-made person, self-made man, self-made woman, where we accomplish things, and when we do, we can say, I did it. And that is something that I think God puts that in us, a desire to achieve and to accomplish and do things. But when it comes to grace, it goes completely opposite, right in the face of that. And there's a movie, pretty famous movie called Saving Private Ryan. And if you remember, the movie starts where there's an older man who is he's with his family, and you can see he has a wife and his children and even some grandchildren, and he's going to a place, he's in Europe, and he actually is returning to a cemetery where bodies are buried and people are there, and he's remembering something. Now I may be getting a little of it wrong, but the gist of it is true. And you could tell that he's not feeling like he's worthy of his life, and he's concerned, and then we go into the movie, and the movie is about a guy named Private Ryan, who is one of, I believe there were a number of brothers, and all of them were killed except him, and the President of the United States sends a team of men out to find Saving Private Ryan, because he's the last living of his brothers, and they've all died in battle, and they don't want this mother to lose all of her children. So Tom Hanks plays is the leader of the men that go to find Private Ryan so they can save his life, get him off the battlefield. Of course, it's World War II, and bring him back home. And the men, including Tom Hanks, that go and find Private Ryan, they all die on that mission to save Private Ryan. And right before Tom Hanks dies, he says something to Private Ryan that really creates the scene for what we see happening at the end of Private Ryan's life. And he says this: earn it. Earn it, he says. And then he dies. And Private Ryan, a young man at the time, he was rescued. He makes it back and reunites with his mom. He gets married. He has a family. He has children. But he lives his whole life feeling he has to earn the fact that there were a group of men who gave their lives to save him. Earn it, he says. Earn it. And isn't that how we think of life, that we want to maybe arrive and we want to get a car that we bought, and we want to have a house that we were able to buy, and a family that we raised, and a business we started, and we want to say we earned it. We earned it. And yet, when you look at the scriptures, they say you can't earn it. You can't do it. See, that's what grace tells us. Grace says that, here's a verse in the Bible, Ephesians chapter 2, it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, not of yourselves. It's a gift of God, not by works, that no one can boast." You see, we bring that earn it thing into our religions. So we want to now earn our right standing before God. We want to earn it. We want to say, hey, I'm a righteous person and I deserve to be in heaven. But the moment you think you can earn it, the moment you think that you can get it, do something that causes you to gain it on your own, is the moment you lose it. You see, God has set up in his economy, he set up the only way to have a relationship with God is to realize that you can't earn it. You can't do anything to get it, you receive it. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation has appeared to all men. All of us, it says, all have sinned, all, and fall short of the glory of God. But the righteous live by faith. Salvation is something that cannot be earned. If you try and earn it, if you think you can earn it, you don't have it. It's when we recognize that in and of ourselves, we're empty, lost, bankrupt before God. But when we come to Him, recognizing our brokenness, recognizing that we can't, then He gives to us His grace, which leads to salvation. So I told you I saved the best for last. Our natural inclination is to think that we can earn our right standing with God, that we can do enough good. You know, I came from a religious persuasion where you kind of felt like if the good outweighed the bad, you'd get to heaven. Well, listen, the good will never outweigh the bad, because the bad means we're bad. But salvation is a free gift. It's why the criminal that was on the cross next to Jesus, his sins were forgiven. He went to heaven because he believed. It's why the murderer, the mass murderer who's in prison and finds Christ and asks for forgiveness, he receives God's grace. It's why the person who thinks that they are righteous on their own, they give to things, they are good people, but they think they're good enough to please God for their own salvation, they end up separated from God forever. So it's by grace that we're saved through faith. It's not of ourselves. It's the gift of God, not by works, that no one should boast. That young Private Ryan was given a curse when he was told to earn it. And he tried to live a life worthy of those who died for them. Jesus says, you can't earn it, you don't have to earn it. I did it for you, now enjoy it. I hope this makes sense. And as you serve God, know that it's not to make you righteous. It's because He already made you righteous when you believe. God bless you. Grace, the greatest of all paradoxes, is the most important gift we'll ever receive. See you next time.